that way you could be on your phone or do whatever you want. Are you sure you don't want to eat, Chris? There's room at a table.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, everybody, if I could have your attention. If everybody could take a seat, please. Welcome, everybody. My name is Bobby Morgan. I am class of '81 from Haverford and on the Hall of Fame committee. We're going to begin our program by, if you look towards the door on the entranceway, we're going to introduce the Hall of Fame inductees for our 21st class. A few of them aren't here, so I'm going to introduce them all. Our first inductee is Sara Bradley. She'll be accepting via video. Our next inductee is Giangiulio. Come on in, Josh. Our next inductee, Susan Fitzgerald Sims from the class of 1977. She was unable to make it, but Susan Fitzgerald Sims. Our next inductee from the class of 1971, Giangiulio. Our next inductee from the class of 2016, Madison Hart. From the class of 2014, Leyden. From the class of 1993, Mike McDermott. From the class of 2011, Jill Root. Also being inducted tonight is a member of the class of 1929, Martha Turkington. Our coach inductees this year, from the class of many, Coach Joe Gallagher. Our second coach inductee is no longer with us tonight. He was a 1978 graduate of Haverford and a beloved swimming coach, Pete Zarilli. And our team induction, the dynasty golf teams from the late 80s, early 90s, coached by Tom Lalone, the 1989, 90, 91, and 92 Central League champion golf teams. At this time, I'd like to welcome Greg DeCina, Athletic Director. Oh, I'm sorry, my apologies. I forgot one of the most special awards tonight is the Special Recognition Award going to Ed Galley. Ed Galley was instrumental in getting the stadium built and was our first ice hockey coach at Haverford, and tonight we're going to honor him with our Haverford High Special Recognition Award. Ed Galley. At this time, I want to welcome Haverford Athletic Director Greg DeCina to make a few opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2023 Haverford High School Hall of Fame banquet. My name is Greg DeCina, and I'm the Athletic Director and Assistant Principal at Haverford High School, and I am also a kid from Havertown. Today is a great day for Haverford Athletics and the Haverford High School Hall of Fame, and a very personal day for me. I am honored and humbled to be in the presence of our community's legends, and maybe even a little jealous. Standing at 5'8"-ish and 160 pounds pre-holiday season, I will never be in the Hall of Fame for my athletic prowess. You can ask Coach Gal in Table D. I was never quite fast enough or strong enough, tall enough, smart enough, wise enough, cool enough, tough enough. I digress. I am a kid from Havertown, though, and I looked up to all of you. My dad golfed at Haverford in the 70s. He was the 4th golfer on the team. He was the MVP, but that was match play back then, and now it is stroke play. That joke's for all of the golfers in the room. We are not a Hall of Fame family. My brother played football for Coach Gal. He was undersized and all heart, as they say, and I followed in my brother's footsteps and was honored to play on Coach Gal's football team as well. I was in high school with the Root family. For Mike McDermott, I provided suspect yardages and questionable green reads as a caddy at Marion, where I spent my summers as a kid from Havertown. I would later coach under Coach Gal and had the honor of returning the mentorship that he bestowed to me as I coached Kevin Leyden in lacrosse, where other schools' PA announcers mispronounced him as Leyden as they said his name goal after goal, touchdown after touchdown. Now, I couldn't kick like Jill, or defend like Sarah, or run like Josh, or swim like Maddie. I couldn't sprint like Susan, or wrestle like Nick, or swing like Mike, shoot like Martha, or coach like Gal. But I am a kid from Havertown, and I looked up to all of you. Guided by the effort of wonderful volunteers, the Haverford High School Hall of Fame is dedicated to honoring those aforementioned individuals that fulfill the true meaning of sportsmanship and achievement, leave a legacy to remember so we can live up to their spirit, and in the words of Coach Stewart in the back of the room, honor them with our effort. You provide a clear vision and compass direction for kids from Havertown, like me, who will strive to be you and work hard in your welcoming shadows. With Central League and District 1 championships and a PIAA track and field state championship this past year, the State of the Union of Haverford Athletics is strong, and every bumpy bus ride, every whistle, every questionable green read is your legacy being lived out and returned to future Haverford High School generations and kids from Havertown for years to come. The people in this community love you, appreciate you, and are grateful for you, and aspire to be just like you. And now, when the next kid from Havertown joins us for a basketball game at Haverford High School, they will be able to look up in the younger gymnasium lobby and see your plaque with your picture and pronounce your name, Kevin Leyden, slightly wrong for years to come. Congratulations on such a monumental achievement, and go forwards. Now for the Haverford High School alma mater, from our Haverford High School chorus. National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. And everyone, please enjoy your brunch, lunch, and we will get started in a little bit. afternoon. If I can have your attention again. We're going to try to get started with our program, so I'd ask everybody to take a seat. Just a few announcements. On each of your tables, there's a QR code for today's program. And while you do have a paper program, the QR code will give you the highlighted version in color. It also has some additional features, so please feel free to take a look at that. The QR code's on your table. I want to welcome everybody to the 21st Induction Banquet of Haverford High Sports Hall of Fame again. For those of you who don't know, this group was started way back in the 90s by former coach and teacher Sid Young. Sid Young got a bunch of folks together at the Lamplighter, and we all know what kind of shenanigans can go on after that. And he convinced the group to begin this organization. And for the last almost 30 years, we've been bringing folks together from Haverford and throughout our community to celebrate all of the many successes, athletes, coaches, administrators from our community. The most important thing about this organization, it's not really about accolades, it's about bringing people together. And ultimately, that's what we strive to do each year, to get people back together, to get people connected to one another. Tonight, I want to thank a few special folks who are here, or today rather. We have Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Maureen Rushi, with us today, as well as Principal Pete Dunnigy, who are both also supporters of Haverford sports. If you go to a game, you're very likely to see one or both attending, and that hasn't always been the case, so please give them a hand. Another thing I want to let you know about is that in your paper banquet, one lucky winner is going to get a volume set of Art Schuba's 5-volume set of Haverford High School sports history. Art is a member of the class of 1968, and he was a longtime coach and teacher in Kentucky. He's now back in Haverford, in the Haverford area. He has worked tirelessly to put together a 5-volume history of Haverford High School sports going back to the 20s to the current age. If anyone has ever seen them, it's remarkable the amount of work. It has been a labor of love for Art. And one lucky winner today, if you go to your paper program and you find Art's ad, there's an autographed copy of the program. And if you have the autographed version, you will receive a free set. And you can see Art afterwards. Art, if you could just stand up, please, and we want to give you a hand. Our first honoree tonight is a 1943 graduate of Haverford High School. Ed Gallagher was a community activist and coach in the Haverford community. And long before we had a place for kids to play hockey, Gallagher was the driving force in having the stadium built. He was the first coach for the Haverford High program and was instrumental in creating what today is really one of the finest Haverford hockey programs in the area. He was a political savvy person, and he was able to make things happen. The stadium was built in 1974, and since then, generations of Haverford community members, both hockey players and non-hockey players, have benefited from that building. He was a dedicated and beloved coach in the Haverford School District, and he was a longtime member of the hockey community. He made things happen. Those who played for them said he was tough, that he was a tireless worker, but he was very much beloved. Ed passed away in 2006, and he's being inducted posthumously. But tonight, his sons Bill and Don are both here, and we want to congratulate them and the Gallagher family, and most of all, thank them for what their father did for our Haverford community. Congratulations. like to come up and accept on behalf of your father?
Good morning, everyone. Most likely now it's afternoon. I'm Bill Gallagher. My brother Don Gallagher are here to represent my father. And I'd like to thank the committee for the honor. And we're very proud to have my father inducted into the HHS Sports Hall of Fame. I'd also like to congratulate all inductees. And thank you. I'd like to take a moment and also recognize and thank a few people, if I may. Pete King, who was a member of the hockey team way back in the day, and Douglas Humes, who also was a member of one of the original teams. If it wasn't for their efforts, talk about politicking, I think they were quite an impetus in getting my father inducted. So thank you guys, I appreciate that. And also I'd like to recognize Bruce McGregor and Pete McGregor and Nikki Giangiulio, who were really the catalyst in getting the program done. And they needed a coach. And I remember the day they knocked on our front door and met with my father, and quite the politicians they were, and convincing him to jump on board. And it's important to recognize these gentlemen because they were quite the catalyst in getting the program up and running and going. And if my father were here today, I think he would just smile. He would smile because of the tremendous success of the program and literally the thousands of high school hockey players that have gone through the program in the last 54 years. And on behalf of my father, as his son, and as the oldest living captain of the team, I think I can speak for the team and the thousands of players in saying we're very proud and honored to be a part of the Sports Hall of Fame team. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Our next inductee is Bean Bradley. I had the honor of coaching Bean on the 1993 Central League Championship basketball team. She was a dynamic athlete. Bean was a three-sport standout in basketball, lacrosse, and soccer. But it was in lacrosse where she left her biggest mark. She earned All-Central, All-Mainline, and All-American honors in lacrosse, and also helped coach Nancy McGoldrick's team win a Central League championship. As a senior, she was presented with the Ethel David Award, given to Haverford's best female athlete. She continued her lacrosse career at Temple University, where she was a member of the 1997 Division I NCAA championship team. Bean is unable to be with us tonight. She is married to Sara Bradley. They have 4 children, Cassidy, Rosemary, Delilah, and Myra, and they reside in Idaho. Bean did send an acceptance by video, so we're going to, if I can turn your attention to the screen, and we'll be able to watch it.
Hey everyone, Bean here. I just not just about sports, but many aspects of life. And for that, I am very grateful. I also, of course, want to thank my family, especially my dog growing up, Nikki. You were awesome. You were always ready to play. I worked with you on my footwork and playing keep away, and that definitely helped with soccer. I also want to thank Betty. Betty, you drove me to and fro sporting events very, very often, and I appreciated that. I also want to thank my sisters, Lisa and Chris Bradley. You guys were athletes before me, and I went to a lot of your games and practices, and I was young when that happened, and those experiences definitely molded me. So thank you. I also, most importantly, want to thank my dad. My Papa Bear couldn't always be in a lot of events because he was a coach at a high school, and I'll never forget certain things that he had me do. He had me dig my hand into a trash can full of dried rice, and it would, help me work on my hand and finger muscles, strengthen those up. He would put blinders on me so I could work on my using both hands for basketball and for lacrosse and just daily life. And I'm actually somewhat ambidextrous because of that. So, in conclusion, just remember, perfect practice equals perfect play, and be true to yourself and go forwards. I'm off to go search for a Sasquatch.
Our next inductee is Josh D'Angelo from the class of 1991. One of the top runners in Haverford High School history, he was a 4-year member of the cross-country, indoor, and outdoor track teams. In cross-country, he won a remarkable 34 straight dual meets and won the Central League Championship in 1988, 89, and 90. He was also the Delaware County Championship those same years, earning All-District and All-State, both in 89 and 90. He was an indoor state champion in the 2-mile in 1991, and in the spring of that year, he set the Haverford High School record in that event at the Penn Relays, a record which still stands today. Josh attended Shippensburg University and is currently the 4th generation owner of D'Angelo Plumbing and Heating, fixing many of our issues in Havertown. Josh and his wife, Mara, have 4 kids. Kaya, 16, a cross-country runner at O&J, Ryan, 15, Owen, 11, and Bella, 10. They reside in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, Josh D'Angelo.
I didn't know I was going to have to talk. That's fine with me. First and foremost, I want to thank Jay Williams, my coach. All 4 years, all 3 sports. He was the assistant track and cross-country coach, but he was my head coach. I listened to everything he said, not so much the other coaches. Secondly, my dad and mom. I know my mom, I'm not sure, but my dad never missed a meet. 4 years, he made every single race that I ran, and having a daughter in the cross-country team now, that's very difficult to do. I've already not done it. So I'd just like to thank my parents and my coach and my My sisters who are here today, they were dragged to many meets, hour of driving to watch me run for 15 minutes and then an hour back. I appreciate that. And my family, thanks for coming out to support me today. Thanks.
Our next inductee is the 1977 graduate of Haverford High. Susan Fitzgerald Sims was one of the finest sprinters in Haverford history. Susan was a 3-time letter winner and captain during her senior season, setting school records in both the 100 and 200-yard dash as a senior. She was a Central League and Delco champion in both the 100-yard and 220-yard sprints. She placed second in the 100-yard dash, third in the 220-yard dash in the District 1 meet in 1977. Susan earned a BA from Rosemont College and an MS from Villanova University. Susan and her husband Jeffrey Sims reside in Pinellas Park, Florida. Susan was unable to make it up today, but has shared a video acceptance. Congratulations, Susan Fitzgerald Sims.
I'm a member of Haverford High School's class of 1977. I bring you warm greetings from my home in Tampa, Florida. I'm sorry that I can't be there with you in person. I want you first to know that I don't take it lightly that I'm being inducted into Haverford High School's Sports Hall of Fame. For me to say that, you have to understand my heritage. I've had 3 family members who preceded me into the Hall of Fame. 2 of them are track athletes, and 1 was a football athlete. All 3 of them had very illustrious careers at Haverford, and then went on to college to compete at the highest levels. I also want to thank you for allowing me to revisit my 17-year-old self, when running meant so much to me. And for me, it was never about winning races, crossing the tape first, bringing home trophies. It was just about the running. And I endured all of Pennsylvania's changing seasons running. And that was the cold rain of early spring, the blistering heat of summer, the cool, crisp wind of autumn, and the snowy winters. You could still find me running. And if I could describe to you what running was for me in those days, that word would be joy. And in these remembrances, what this has brought to me, my 17-year-old self has brought to my 64-year-old self, which I now bring to you this evening, is to find those experiences in life that bring you sheer joy. Thank you so much for this great honor.
Our next inductee, class of 1971, Nick Giangiulio, was a 4-sport athlete who excelled in football, wrestling, ice hockey, and baseball. A member of the 1969 Central League runner-up and 1970 undefeated Central League championship football teams, he earned first team All-Central League, first team All-Delaware County, honorable mention All-Scholastic, and honorable mention All-State. In wrestling, he kept a great year going 11-4 and reaching the sectional semifinals. In ice hockey, Nick was first goalie in the Haverford's ice hockey history and helped lead the team to the Flyers Cup finals. Baseball. Nick was co-captain and played the outfield on the 1971 Central League runner-up baseball team. He went on to compete in rugby for 3 years at the University of Dayton. Professionally, Nick has worked the last 47 years in the entertainment industry as an actor, stuntman, voiceover radio actor, and character model. He has appeared in off-Broadway, regional, and off-Broadway shows. Congratulations, Nick Giangiulio.
Sign of the times. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, to the voters of the Hall of Fame, family, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely humbled beyond words by this recognition, and so honored to stand alongside the select body of high school athletes. Thank you so much. I brought my dad with me today. He's been gone for 18 years, but he exists in this photo, as does Mr. Farina. And they just watched their two sons win back-to-back matches, beating their opponents from Lower Merion. And there's Ralph Farina there leading the charge in front of the team. And in the stands, I see my cousin Stephen and Jimmy Giangiulio and my brother Ken. 52 years later, Ralph, Steve, Jimmy, and Ken are sitting here at our tables, 52 years later. And this is one of two sports photos I keep in my office. It just brings a chuckle to me every time I look at it. On the ground are three young lads lying face down on the gym floor, completely oblivious to the celebration taking place, but rather bewitched and totally mesmerized by the cheerleader doing leg kicks in front of them. And if this isn't the totality of what high school represents, then I don't know what. If I may, I would like to publicly apologize now to all the teachers and coaches that I gave agita to while I was in high school. Actually, if truth be told, I'm quite thankful to have been under their guidance during those years, when the world seemed to be coming apart at the seams, and never once did any one of them bring any of that into a class, a gym, or onto a field. Their sole focus was on us kids, making us better students, better athletes, citizens of the world. My God, how lucky were we? Huh? And two, how fortunate to have been coached by these men who gave of themselves willingly, challenging, pushing, daring you beyond one's self-imposed limits, silently rooting for you to get it, and harness the ability to reach inside oneself and find more sustainability. To the late Jim Douglas, Mr. D, Ray Edelman, Steve Younger, Stan Friedman, Marty Renshaw, Wayne Heim, Dale Bonzo, Ed Gallagher, and coaches still with us, Bill the Whistle Corcoran. Jim Jones, Warren Brote, John Edelman, Joe Schuster. The love and respect I have for you Mount Rushmores in my life is unwavering. This bond of player, coach, teacher reaches far beyond the lines on the field. It lies deep within my heart, full of gratitude for being patient and at the same time tough as nails on me as an athlete and as a person. To all my football, wrestling, ice hockey, baseball teammates. And to those here today, looking at your mugs, teenagers again. It's as if it were yesterday. After a long season of grass drills, that glorious moment walking heads high off that frozen field Thanksgiving Day, undefeated, untied champs of the Central League. That famished moment when weigh-ins concluded, shoving real food down our throats after a week of living on celery and in rubberized sweatsuits. Ironically, I found myself eating a lot of celery this week too. That quiet, nervous tension in a 4 a.m. car ride to the University of Penn's 1923 class ice rink for a 6 a.m. game time start. We're heads down, kicking the dirt, slow walking to the locker room after losing by a run in the Central League title to Marble Newtown in extra innings. Shared moments in time, gentlemen, unique only to us. This period of time in which some have referred to as Haverford's golden era in sports, fair or not, is contained deep within us. It lifts our inner spirit every time we gather and start reminiscing. It's as if it were a super elixir, powerful only to us who put the time in, sacrificed much, and trusted that what we were being asked to do would serve us well into manhood and provide lasting memories of plenty. I thank you, Haverford High, for allowing me to take so much and all that you have given back. Thank you.
Can kind of see how you made your career in public speaking and broadcasting. Just saying. Our youngest inductee of the night is a 2016 graduate, Madison Hart. Maddie was a 4-year letter winner and team MVP for swimming coach Matt Stewart. She was a 4-time NISC All-American from 2012 to 2016. And a PIAA All-State swimmer during her record-breaking career. A 2-time state champ in the 100 butterfly, she also was a 3-time District 1 champ, claiming titles in the 100 back as a junior and 100 fly as a junior as well. Maddie was named the Central League Swimmer of the Year from 2012 to 2016. She was the District 1 Swimmer of the Year in 2015 and the Delco Swimmer of the Year 2015 and 16. Along the way, she holds or held records in the 100 fly, the 100 back, the 100 free, and the 200 free. Maddie went on to swim for Penn State University, where she had an outstanding Division I career. She was a Big Ten finalist and NCAA qualifier in 3 events. She also qualified for the 2021 United States Olympic swimming trials in the butterfly, pretty much the highest honor you can have other than going to the Olympics. Maddie now coaches swimming with Alpha Aquatics in Segunda, California. She's also a member of the Loyola Marymount Master Swim Program. She lives in California with her Labrador Retriever, Logan, and is employed as a teacher for the El Segunda Unified School District. Congratulations, Maddie.
I am deeply honored and humbled to stand before you as a new inductee to the Haverford High School Sports Hall of Fame. I want to take this time to thank some special people in my life. But first, I want to say thank you to the committee for putting together this ceremony, and also congratulations to the other inductees. This is honestly something I never imagined, and recognition like this fills me with immense gratitude. And again, I would like to spend this time thanking some special people in my life who particularly helped me during my career at Haverford High School. First and foremost, I would like to thank my family, who some were able to be here today. I'm so incredibly grateful to have such an amazing support system. To my mom, thank you for all your sacrifices you made. Thank you for instilling in me self-discipline, and thank you for reminding me not to take life too seriously. There are 2 very important coaches that I need to thank. One I have the pleasure of being related to. My dad, after having a successful swimming career at Auburn University, he still had all 4 of us swimming, and as my coach throughout my high school career. I want to thank you for teaching me how to love the sport of swimming, but also reminding me that there is so much more to the life than the sport. I will forever cherish our time spent together on a pool deck. I feel like this is finally a time to thank another very important coach in my life, and that is Matt Stewart. He has not only had such an immense impact on my swimming career, but my life. Matt has also impacted countless other students and athletes in the community. Your wisdom and encouragement was a guiding light throughout my swimming career. Thank you for being more than just a coach. You've been a source of inspiration, a role model, and a key figure in my athletic career. I'm privileged to have had the opportunity to learn from you, and now, as an educator, I hope to instill in my students the same lifelong values that you instill in yours. I want to take this opportunity on this platform to highlight the need for our own aquatics facility. The Haverford Swim and Dive team consistently produces collegiate and Olympic level athletes, and I can only imagine the new heights the program can reach with our own facilities. Moments like this remind me of how grateful I am for high school athletics and the lifelong community they provide. Thank you.
Maddie, make sure you don't leave without your plaque. It's over here. Our next inductee is another recent Haverford grad, Kevin Leyden. Is it Leyden, Greg? Leyden, Greg Leyden. Kevin Leyden. A 3-sport standout in football, ice hockey, and lacrosse. Leyden is one of the most prolific rushers in Ford football history. He helped lead the Fords to a 2012 runner-up finish in the Central League. He set a single-season total offense record, rushing and pass reception. He finished his career with 1,815 rushing yards. He was a 2-time first-team All-Central pick and also earned first-team All-Delco, All-Main Line, and second-team All-Southeast Pennsylvania. He also was a 4-year member of the Ford's ice hockey team. Kevin notched 20 goals and 9 assists during his career. I find it really appropriate tonight that we have ice hockey players when we're honoring Ed Gallagher. In the spring, he earned first team All-Central League honors and was a member of the team that won 23 games over a three-year period. He also scored 55 goals and 19 in 2013 before being injured. He was named the Ford's Offensive MVP in 2012 and 2013. Kevin played a year of football at Westchester before transferring to Cabrini, where he decided to continue his lacrosse career. There, he had the privilege of playing for the national championship team in 2019. Cabrini defeated Amherst University right here at Lincoln Financial Field, and anybody who was there, it was one of the most remarkable games you've ever seen. So he's one of our Haverford grads who's actually won an NCAA national championship. He went on to earn All-American honors that year. Kevin is part of a really great Haverford family, the Farrell-Leyden connection. And a fun fact is that his brother is engaged to another inductee tonight, Jill Root, who you'll hear about later. So congratulations, Kevin.
I'm truly honored to be standing up here accepting the speech in front of you all. I first want to thank Kathy Kearns, Steve Young, and the rest of the Hall of Fame board. Congratulations to all the nominees, and especially thanks to my future sister-in-law, Jill. It's truly special to share this with you. Most importantly, I want to thank my mom, my older brother Mike, my younger brother Sean. I would truly not be standing up here without you three. There's truly not enough time for me to thank you for everything that you've done for me. The unlimited amount of rides, cleats, equipment, skate sharpening, and everything that you've done to make us be so successful. My favorite story is when I used to cry my eyes out before preschool. Instead of making me go to school, my mom would take me to the stadium to go skating. I don't remember that, but I'm sure thankful that we had those special memories. I will forever be in debt for you for all you've done for us. As some of you may know, we have a long list of Haverford sports alum in our family. Uncle Marty, Uncle Dan, Uncle Tom, Uncle Joe, Uncle Bill, my mom, my late Aunt Patty, all my cousins, and most importantly, my dad. My late father is truly one of the only reasons I'm up here and deserve all the credit for this. For those that don't know, my dad passed in April of 2011 during my freshman lacrosse season. My dad was incredibly passionate about sports, helping me and my brothers be the best athletes we could become. He even on our backyard built an entire lacrosse field for us to shoot, and I'm not sure our neighbors have forgiven us since. There's been a ton of lacrosse balls that have ricocheted off into their houses, but we spent countless hours down there, and it made us so much better. My dad's mural sits down at Genthrop Field on Lawrence Road for the efforts he put back into the baseball field we grew up playing on. My dad's hard work is something that his friends and our family consistently remind us of. I watched how hard he worked and everything that he did, and it's something that he's passed down to my brothers and will for always be with us. Circling back to that 2011 lacrosse team my freshman year, and all the teams that follow, Haverford Sports was an outlet to cope with my dad's passing, and it's why Haverford Sports means so much to me. I'm so blessed to share the field with my brother, my freshman ice hockey season and freshman lacrosse season. That was the start of this all. And I'll never forget, we opened up against O'Hara. They were the defending state championship team, and this was my first ever high school sport. Before the game, anyone talked about how big, fast, and how hard they hit. And looking back on the pictures, I was about 150 pounds soaking wet. And the only advice my brother had for me was keep your head up. I'm not sure that helped too much that night, but I'm sure helpful that you said that for the rest of my career. Haverford High School hockey in the beginning of the season was always a puzzle piece with football, trying to make each game. I'm thankful to Coach Gal and Coach John for allowing me to play both. I remember the first games, coming back and forth, going from practice towards the end of it to the beginning of hockey, and there was definitely no load management at the time. Going one from practice to another, getting right on the ice, it was something that I loved and it reminds me of Haverford sports so much. When looking back on my high school career, football is the sport that comes to me first. Although my football career did start out a little shaky. My first practice, everyone was wearing black shorts, and I forgot to bring some the first day of school. I wore cargo shorts below my knees and was quickly demoted to 5th or maybe 6th string, which I completely understand. But between Billy, Jack, Sean, and I, there was probably an 8-year stretch of where one of our family members was a part of Haverford football. It's something that we share together and will have forever. Haverford football was something that I've always wanted to do, and every day I thought of it. Maybe not everything. I think the coaches here tonight will agree that I did not like to lift weights at all. But instead I wanted to run. They definitely let me run my entire career. The one game that sticks out to me my senior year, he thought it was best for the team if I was going to run back and forth every play from the wideout position, whether I was getting the ball or not. After playing 4 years of college lacrosse, I've never ran more in my life. And to this day, I'm not sure if that was a punishment or not. But ironically, that was one of the last games I've ever played for Haverford, so if I could sign up and do that any day of the week, I would. Maybe the next game or close to it, I tore my ACL, and my high school career was over. Missing the rest of that football season, my last ice hockey season, and my last lacrosse seasons. I tried to continue football, left Westchester pretty quickly, and landed at Cabrini to follow my brother's footsteps. At Cabrini, I tore my second ACL, and only my close family and friends know that this was one of the, physically and mentally, one of the hardest things I've ever had to overcome. But I can honestly say that I've never committed so hard to that second ACL rehab, and it was something I'm forever grateful for. I got, without a doubt, the best shape of my life, was able to play in the final 6 games to win the National Lacrosse Championship at Lincoln Financial Field, and it was the most rewarding days of my life. Ironically, I thought that tear at Haverford, my football year, was one of the worst things that ever happened to me, and it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. To close it out, I want to thank all of my teammates for making this possible. I truly don't remember any of the goals or touchdowns, really. All the memories are with your best family friends, best friends, growing up, going to practices, and riding those bus ride home. I want to thank every coach, Coach John, Coach Cleary, Coach Gal, Coach Maluski, Coach Lip, Greg DeCina, Dan Greenspun, Steve Young, all the coaches at Sacred Heart Football, Haverford Youth Hockey, all the travel teams. I'm sure I'm missing a lot other out there, but without that, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you.
Our second inductee repping the class of 1993 is Mike McDermott. A 4-year member of the basketball and golf squads, McDermott was a co-captain of both teams. He helped lead the Force to 4 straight Central League titles, earning all league honors in 3 of those years. In hoops, McDermott played for Coach Fred Brown's team that was the Central League runner-up. He received a golf scholarship to St. Joseph University, where he established himself as one of the best golfers in the school history from 1993 to 1997. He earned All-Atlantic 10 Conference honors 3 times, in 1994, 1995, and 1997, the most of any player in Hawk history. He was also named an academic All-American in his senior season and was inducted into the St. Joseph's University Athletics Hall of Fame in 2010. Mike has been one of the winningest golfers in Philadelphia amateur golf history and has won 3 Philadelphia amateur titles, 4 Philadelphia mid-amateur titles, has been a Pennsylvania state champion, was named the Golf Association of Philadelphia's Player of the Year 5 times, which is the most of all time. Mike has been honored by being invited to join some of the world's most prestigious golf clubs, including Augusta National. He was asked to serve as the marker for the Masters, where he plays during the actual Masters tournament. Mike was the founder and serves as CEO of Cathmere Capital Management, named after his childhood address and 2 blocks away from Haverford High School. He's married to Brooke McDermott, and they reside in Wayne, PA, with their 3 children, Brad, 15, Ryan, 13, and Luke, 11. Congratulations, Mike McDermott.
Tall, so I'm going to do that. Really an honor to be here, and I thank the entire Haverford High School athletic group and administration for putting together really a neat day. Also special to share this with my teammates and sort of a dual honoring process, and our team will be up later. And to Mr. Lalone, our photographer over here, he's been doing that for 30 plus years. Great to see you. It's been a little while. I think I would be best described as a work in progress in high school. Despite all the nice things they said about me, I never played number 1, not for 1 match all through high school. I was never the best player in my household. In fact, of the McDermott boys, I was the 3rd of 3. In the time when it was most crucial for me to perform, getting ready for college, junior year, I had to sit there and watch my 5'5" brother win the Central League as a freshman. It was terrific, but I was also sort of floundering in mediocrity at that point in my golf career. So a lot of things that have happened to me, I certainly never predicted, and those that knew me in high school would certainly echo those comments. But golf's a long game. You get to play it all through your 20s and 30s and 40s, and I just stayed at it. When I got this call, the committee people that I talked to, Kathy had mentioned, well, maybe you'll say something about how a Havertown kid gets to tee off in the Masters. And so I do have a little story that I think I can tie back to this honor. And it's, I'm on the range warming up, and everybody famous is around me, but I stick out quite clearly. There are no sponsors. I don't have any posse around me of teachers and trainers and agents. It's just me. And a famous coach comes up to me. His name's Sean Foley, and if you follow golf, he used to be Tiger Woods' swing instructor. He comes up to me and he says, so who are you and how did you get here? And so after a brief description of being a rather mediocre high school player, an unrecruited college player, and then most of the good things that happened to me in golf happening after the age of 25, he paused and he said, when you were 18, what do you think the odds were that you would be in this place right now? And I thought about it for a second, and before I had a chance to give an answer, he finished it for me and he said, that's impossible. And you know, that's been a couple years ago now, and I thought about today, that story came up because it is impossible in some ways, and yet, and this is the part I want my kids to hear, is that there's 2 reasons why it wasn't impossible. One is that despite challenges and you know, rejections from the coaches that I wanted to talk to or that I wanted to have interested in me for college, I never stopped my own self-belief. I never stopped believing in the path I was going. And I just continued on with that, and that's at least the part I could control. The part I couldn't control is the part where I sort of hit the lottery. And this is the part that, you know, I had an unusually high number of people that believed in me, strongly and passionately. My parents over there certainly at the top of that list, as 2 of the most encouraging and supportive and just positive, confidence-building people that you'd ever want to be around. Certainly my brothers, one of them is here, who I mentioned, used to beat me up all over the golf course back in high school, but you know, they were always better than me when we were younger, in our Haverford days. And then eventually, when my game picked up, that changed, and they suddenly became my biggest supporters. And they started helping me believe in me before I really believed in me. And there are other people in my life that believed in me, but I think the key message, again, to the kids and that I want you to hear is that you can control your self-belief, but when you, in a world of so many people won't believe in you, when you have people that do, keep them close to you, drown everything else out and listen to them. And I really believe that that's what happened to me. You know, the person I didn't mention there, it's interesting. I don't think many people in their high school induction thank you mention their wife they met at 30 as being responsible for why you're in the Hall of Fame, but the truth is I'm running a company, I'm raising kids, and a lot of the good things that happened on that sheet were way, way, way after high school. And so doing all those things, that's not really possible if Brooke isn't supportive and really helping me to make this incredibly difficult balance work. So the last thing I'll say is that, you know, in life, when you're younger, you think that life's all about the destination. You think it's all about the trophies and the awards and everything else. And those are great. And when you win them, it's a great moment, and everyone here today is sort of reflecting on that. But as you get older, you realize it's not about the destination. It's actually about the journey. And when I think back to Haverford and the role that it played for me, I had some tough moments in golf. I had some tough moments in, you know, trying to get to where I ultimately maybe did get to. But the journey is what's the best part. Those struggles and overcoming them has been the best part of all of it. And it's at a moment like this that you can sort of reflect and remember that. The trophies and everything are great, but really that's where Haverford will always be so near and dear to my heart. And so I'll finish by just saying that I've been to a lot of games at Younger Gymnasium through the years. We go to basketball games, and my boys inevitably walk in and they say, "Dad, why isn't your picture up there?" And so I always just respond and I said, "Well, guys, maybe someday." And so it's really an honor. I'm thrilled and touched by the fact that, you know, I now get to be a part of the great legacy of Haverford, and you know, this really means the world to me. So thank you, everyone.
So Mike, I just want to follow up and mention your parents. The McDermotts, while I was working at Haverford, were viable, visible members at games and huge supporters of not just their own children's teams, but also all the teams. And it's great to see you here today. I also want to mention the Hoyle family, if you can keep them in your prayers. I know we lost Bill Hoyle, Chris Hoyle's father, just a few weeks ago. And June is also not doing well. The Hoyles, even up until last year, were attending all the Haverford High basketball games, so please keep that family in your prayers. Our next inductee is Jill Root, who is engaged to one of the Leydens. Jill was a four-sport standout in soccer, basketball, and lacrosse, and another Ethel David Award winner as Haverford's most outstanding senior athlete in the class of 2011. In soccer, she led the Fords to the postseason in 2009 and 2010, and she was a three-time first-team All-Central League pick. She also was a two-time first-team All-Delco pick and two-time first-team All-Main Line. In her senior year, she was named the Central League's most valuable player and also earned All-Southeast Pennsylvania honors and a first-team All-State selection. In basketball, Jill was a three-year starter and recognized as an All-Delco and All-Main Line honorable mention selection. She was the captain for Coach Nancy McGoldrick's lacrosse team and was a two-time first-team All-Central League pick, two-time All-Main Line, as well as the team MVP in 2009 and 2011. She was also a finalist for the Main Line and Delaware County Athlete of the Year awards. She went on to Monmouth University on a soccer scholarship and later transferred to St. Joe's. At Monmouth, she was the NEC All-Rookie Team member. Jill was a member of the Atlantic 10 Commissioner's Honor Roll and the SJU Athletic Director's Honor Roll. She serves as a tutor to 10 student athletes across 5 different subjects her senior year. Jill was named the Scholar Athlete Award in 2015. And as I mentioned, she is engaged to fellow Haverford High graduate Mike Leyden, who also was on the Cabaretti National Championship team. So congratulations, Jill Root.
I feel like I should talk more about the wedding. First off, I want to say thank you to the committee for today's event and allowing me to join the Haverford Hall of Fame. And congratulations to all the inductees. It's an honor to be a part of such a decorated class. I have to say the timing of the Hall of Fame to me is pretty ironic, given that it's Thanksgiving week, not because of the rivalry game or because it's Spirit Week, but because Thanksgiving Eve is the pinnacle of people reliving their glory days and coming home. You know what I'm talking about. We've all been stuck in those conversations with that random guy from high school who's reliving game by game their career. If you haven't and you're interested, I recommend going to Cuddy's on Wednesday night. Between getting to the bar for a drink, you can find about 10 guys that'll tell you how many catches they had against Conestoga in 2011, how many goals they scored against Strathaven, and if you're lucky and you get there early enough, you'll meet somebody who knows somebody who guarded Kobe. No, I'm not going to tell those stories with specific games and specific stats, because oftentimes in sports, I think we limit ourselves to summarizing careers in wins and losses, championships, and awards. So instead, I want to dedicate this time to thank all the pieces that don't show up on a stat sheet or in the newspaper, but are really responsible for why I'm here today. So first off, thank you to my siblings, Bobby, Kelly, and Matt. When you weren't convincing me that I was adopted from the pickle jar at Colonial Village, I was learning from you how to be an athlete, and every day in the backyard and the basement truly taught me what it took. To my fiance Mike, thank you for letting me play with the boys at recess and kindergarten and every day forward, and never taking it easy on me, still to this day. Thank you to the athletic department, my coaches, my teammates for preparing, training, and developing us to make us the best we possibly could be. Most importantly, thank you to my parents. I'm here today because you gave me every opportunity to be successful. What stat sheets don't show is the number of weekends you gave up to be at a field or a gym. It doesn't show the thousands of miles traveled across the country for tournaments and games. And to my mother, my poor mother Carol, stats definitely don't show the number of times you left work early to drive me to practice, only to hear me complain that I was 5 minutes late. I'm really sorry. I now know as an adult that Eagle Road traffic was the problem and not you. Thank you to all those people who made those Haverford memories so much more valuable than any championship or award. The game of life is best played as a team sport. So while I'm honored to be an inductee into the Hall of Fame as a soccer, basketball, and lacrosse player, first and foremost, what got me here today was being a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a teammate, and for that, I share all this with you. Thank you, and go Fords.
Our final inductee is from the class of 1929. Martha Turkington played field hockey, basketball, and ran track for the Fords. Haverford was well ahead of the times, providing athletic opportunities for girls, and Turkington was one of the top athletes in the 20s. Martha was a member of the 1926 Suburban Co-Championship League team, field hockey team, and one of the top scorers. Perhaps her most outstanding athletic accomplishments were in 6-player basketball. She was the leading scorer during the 1928 and 1929 seasons, finishing her career with 834 plus points, 337, 1928, and 346 in 1929. Over a 3-year period, the Lady Fords posted 40 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie. Track and field. Martha was a member of the Delco Championship track and field team in 1928 and the undefeated team in 1929. Martha is being inducted posthumously to the Haverford Hall of Fame. All right, moving on to coach inductees and team inductees. Our first coach inductee this year is Joe Gallagher, who led the HHS football program for 29 years from 1992 to 2020. Coach Gal served as the Ford's head football coach for 29 years, leaving as the winningest coach in program history with 175 wins. His teams won the Central League title in 1995 and 2015, finished second in 2012, 2013, 2018, and 2019. Under his direction, the Fords also reached the district playoffs 8 times. His 2019 team finished the season with 11 wins and made the Final Four in district playoffs, the first and only Haverford football team to do so to date. Gal was instrumental in helping many HHS players go on to continue their careers at the collegiate level and mentored generations of Haverford students and athletes, An All-Delco, All-State, and All-American player at nearby St. James in Chester, Gal went on to a 4-year career at the University of Tennessee. Coach Gal is also a member of the Delaware County Athletes Hall of Fame in 2009, Delaware County Chapter of Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame 2014. After 29 years, Joe retired from teaching and coaching at Haverford in 2020. Coach Gal and his wife Karen reside in Aston, Pennsylvania. Before I congratulate Coach Gal, I had the opportunity not only to work with Gal, but to take about 50,000 pictures of his teams, and probably about 10,000 of him. One of the finest coaches I've known during my career at Haverford. It's always a pleasure to see Joe and his wife Karen, daughter and son-in-law. Congratulations, Coach Joe Gallagher.
Thank you for that nice introduction, Paul. I appreciate it, and just want to return this comment that you became one of my good friends all through my years, and appreciate that very much. This is cool. I'll be honest with you. This is really cool getting inducted to this Haverford High School Hall of Fame. As Paul mentioned or read earlier, I've been inducted. I've been lucky to be recognized by Delaware County and state of Pennsylvania, but the 2 awards that I've received through my years are my senior year at Tennessee. I was elected most valuable lineman, but what made it so important to me was that my teammates did the voting. So this Hall of Fame, and nothing against Delaware County and the PA, but this is my home. So when your home inducts you into a Hall of Fame and recognizes your services for any reason, it tops everything. So to the members of the committee, I can't thank you enough. This is really a special, special day to me. Whenever anybody gets inducted, it involves, it's more than the inductee, it's people. So part of this award, a big part of it goes to all my former students, former players, former coaches, former teacher colleagues, administrators, athletic directors that I've had through the years. They're all a part of this award, without question. So I was just very lucky, blessed to land at Haverford High School, began in 1992. But prior to that, I was an assistant coach for 11 years at various places. My alma mater, St. James, where I began. Then I moved on to Cardinal O'Hara, Conestoga, then Williamson Trade School. So I spent 11 years grinding as an assistant, but you know, I kind of halfway through those 11 years, I made a decision. I think I'd like to be a head coach. So Haverford was my third try. It was actually, came in second twice before Haverford High School. But I kept persisting. So when I went to apply for the Haverford job, I knew we had some strong candidates. And the two guys that got the job before me at the other high schools had previous head coaching experience. And that's kind of why I came in second twice. So as I get to the Haverford selection, again I'm facing a very experienced guy who had head coaching experience. So I'll give him my best shot. But what he didn't have, like I had in my pocket, on my side, was a Haverford High School Hall of Fame member who I was lucky enough to coach with at Conestoga. His name's Richie Boyd. And I will tell you, he was a major factor for me getting hired for this job. And the other person, and I mentioned, you know, how inconclusive it is, but prior to that, you know, I graduated from Tennessee with a degree in public health education, but I didn't have a teacher's certificate. So, as I'm thinking, hey, I might want to be a head coach and a teacher too. So my wife, Karen Gallagher, pushed me, insisted to me that I go back to Westchester University and get my teacher's certificate. And without that, without her effort and push, none of this would have happened. And this is the truth. Thank you very much. Forwards for life. By the way, at the conclusion, if you guys at the table here, all my ex-players and coaches and friends, hang around for a second. I want to get a couple of pictures up here. Thank you.
The first time I saw Coach Gal speak was his first pep rally at Haverford in 1992, and he would grab the microphone and ask, are there any freshmen in the house? Are there any sophomores in the house? And I remember feeling on that day that I wanted to quit my job and join the football team. It was just so fired up, but congratulations, Joe. Our next coach inductee is Pete Zarilli, who was a 1979 graduate of Haverford High School and actually a personal friend. Pete coached the boys and girls swim teams from 1988 to 2007, earning over 100 career wins, coaching 5 straight Central League boys teams from 96 to 2000. He had a remarkable record of 50-6. 2 of those teams, the 1988 and 89 teams, finished in the top 10 at the PIAA state championships. Pete coached numerous swimmers who qualified for both the District 1 championship and the PIAA state tournament during his many years, including 4-time state champion, All-American, and Olympian Brendan Hansen, as well as Emily DeReal, who went on to participate in the Olympics in the modern pentathlon. Pete was an outstanding swimmer himself as a student athlete at Haverford. He was a member of the 1978 record-setting 400 freestyle team. He was always a hard worker in his professional life. Those of us that knew Pete remember him as really a really quiet gentleman. He was always calm, really wonderful to work with, wonderful to know. Pete and his brother Ron opened and operated Zarilli Steaks and Hoagies, bringing Philadelphia to Maryland. Sadly, Pete passed away at a very young age of 58 years old in 2019, but he really leaves a lasting legacy in all of the athletes that he coached at Haverford, and really everybody he met. To know him was to like him. He was a wonderful person. Accepting today for Pete is his cousin, Dennis Gray, former Haverford Township School District and class of 1981. I want to congratulate the Zarilli family. I know there's a lot of you here. He really was a wonderful man.
I want to thank everybody, first and foremost, because the Zarillis don't get together that often, so we had a mini reunion today. Usually we only see each other at funerals, so this is really, really special. It's ironic that I'm accepting for Peter, mainly because I hate swimming, and I get bored in the pool in about 3 minutes. But Peter loved it. I'd like to thank Pete's brothers and sisters, Nikki, Ron, Claire, Cheryl, Paul, and Mary, as well as all his nieces and nephews and cousins who have provided me the opportunity to accept this award. I'd also like to thank the committee and all the inductees, and in particular Stephen Young, for Pete's induction today. If Pete were here today, and Bobby knows Pete, and she described him very, very well, although I wouldn't say he was always a gentleman, Bobby. He'd have a big smile on his face. He'd humbly accept the award, and he would tell us that he just got this because he had phenomenal athletes, and that's absolutely true. He probably talked about his 5 Central League championships and his 2 top 10 state qualifying teams. I went through the records this weekend. Pete qualified, had someone qualify for states and be a state placeholder 11 out of his 19 years of coaching. Let me talk a little bit about Peter because he's not here to talk about himself. He dedicated his professional life and personal life to swimming. I'm sorry. He followed his brothers, Ron, David, and Paul into the sport. He was raised at Hilltop. Pete was raised by a single mother, and my aunt felt it easiest to just stick him at Hilltop and let him get free daycare. And she did the same thing with the Mainline Y in the afternoon, in the off seasons. He had a successful career at Haverford. He was very proud to say that when he had his first practice at Haverford, the great Bert Lynch said to him, "I finally have a Zarilli." Whether he got the best one is unknown, but I don't think Mr. Lynch ever thought Peter would follow him into the Hall of Fame. He worked at Marble Swim Club, Hilltop, Lennar Country Club as a lifeguard and coach. He managed Caricon and Waynesboro. He was a longtime coach at Radnor Aquatics. As a swimmer and coach, he established friendships and professional relationships throughout Delaware County and the Main Line. It's impossible to be involved in local swimming and not know Peter. Coaches' results are based on athletes provided to them, and Peter had great talent. There was no question about that. And a good coach understands not only the talent of his team, but the strengths and weaknesses of his opponents. And Peter understood that, and that's why he was successful. But what made Peter a great coach was his ability to function under a distinct disadvantage, and that is he didn't have a pool. Peter was unable to go to the locker room and meet with his own students. He was unable to go through the hallway and try to find a great talent. Imagine not having a gym, or imagine not having an athletic field. Or imagine not having an auditorium and running a music program. In fact, in Haverford, we have a wonderful music program. But if you're missing a tuba, you have 100 people at a school board meeting. We don't have a pool, and we have a phenomenal swimming program. And Pete did that for 19 years. How did he keep these incredible athletes is the question. And that's because he was a phenomenal person. He knew everybody, and everybody wanted to swim for him. So you have a future Olympian who's being recruited, or a future Big Ten athlete being recruited, and their parents make the decision to keep them in Haverford. It's because of the coach. So once again, I want to thank everybody for Pete's induction, and I know he'd be thrilled to be here because he had talked to me about it numerous times. So thank you.
Team inductions 1989, 1990, 1991, and 1992 HHS golf boys teams coached by Tom Lalone. 1989 Central League champion golf team. Record 8-0 in the Central League. The team capped off a spectacular season by winning the Central League title for the first time since 1984. They were led on the greens by unofficial team captain and all Central League star Kevin Campbell. The team was comprised of 15 players, 3 of whom were named All Central League. Kevin Campbell, sophomore Sean McConnell, and freshman Chris Hoyle. The team was losing only 4 graduating seniors, and they were Kevin Campbell, Mike Monleone, Jason Dabowski, and Vinny Grasso, all playing a major role in the team's success. Team members were as follows: Mike McDermott, Chris Hoyle, Sean McConnell, Mike Monleone, Paul Bang, Sean Perrin, Mike Boshin, Marty Berry, Kevin Campbell, Vinny Grasso, Paul Wachowski, Bill Gaddy, and Jason Dabowski. That was the 1989 Central League Championship team. 1990, once again, Central League champs, record of 9-0-1. This outstanding team won the Central League for the second year in a row. The #1 golfer was Chris Hoyle, who led the team in scoring and received all Central League honors. The second and third men, junior Sean McConnell and sophomore Michael McDermott, also shot consistent rounds, beating most of their opponents and compiling some of the lowest scoring averages in the Central League. McConnell fired an impressive 76 to win second place in the Central League Championship and earned all Central League honors. But the heart and soul of the team was found in the remaining senior starters: Paul Bang, Paul Wachowski, Mike Boshin, Sean Perrin, Bill Gaddy, and Jordan Goldenberg. These seasoned seniors always came through when they were needed. Team members: Mike Boshin, Bill Gaddy, Jeff Haas, Chris Hoyle, Paul Bang, Mike Schaefer, Mike McDermott, Sean Perrin, Paul Wachowski, and Sean McConnell. 1991, championship golf team again, undefeated. Record 9-0 in the Central League, 12-0 overall. Winning the Central League title for the 3rd consecutive year. The team was held together by strength and experience of the 2 seniors, Sean McConnell and Jeff Haas, and 2 juniors, Chris Hoyle and Mike McDermott. These 4 were complemented nicely by the addition of freshmen Kevin McDermott, Marty Berry, and Mike Schaefer, who were strong contributors when needed. Sean McConnell was the captain of the team and personally advanced to the state championship at Penn State. Chris Hoyle had an excellent season as well. Perhaps the most unique accomplishment of the season individually was by freshman Kevin McDermott. In the Central League Championship, Kevin bested all other players to claim the league title. He was the first and remains the only freshman in Central League history to win the individual title. The entire team swept away the competition and earned another Central League title. Those members on the 1991 team: Mike McDermott, Matt Capuzzi, Todd Fleming, Gabe Bennett, David Rankin, Kevin McDermott, Sean McDonald, Chris Hoyle, Anthony Voci, Jared Connor, Larry Reese, Jeff Haas, Mike Mannion, Marty Berry, Dave Chick, Rich Julien, Joe Klodarska, and Mike Schaefer. Completing the 4-year run, 1992, Central League Championship team again, 9-1. 1992 Haverford golf team capped off the season by winning an unprecedented 4 consecutive Central League championships. For the past 4 years, Haverford High School senior co-captains Mike McDermott and Chris Hoyle made the mark playing golf for the Fords. Their combined record of 47 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie led the team to 4 consecutive Central League titles. The #3 player for the 1982 team was Kevin McDermott. Rounding out the starting squad were Martin Berry, Mike Schaefer, Nick Verrecchio, and Todd Fleming. The Ford's main competition was Conestoga. Haverford won by 1 stroke. However, HHS suffered a regular season loss against Upper Darby, so HHS and Conestoga both went on to the Central League Championship match with a 9-1 record. At the Central League Championships, Chris Hoyle took home the title with medalist honors. As a team, Haverford edged out Conestoga by 2 strokes, but a playoff was still necessary to determine the Central League Championship. It was a close match as Mike McDermott shot a 36 and Chris Hoyle shot a 37. It came down to the last group of golfers. Mike Schaefer shot a 41. His late heroics gave the Fords a 3-stroke victory and a 4th consecutive Central League Championship. Team members that I'm going to read, and Kevin McDermott will accept and bring his teammates along. We do have a 2 o'clock limit, that's why I'm trying to move along, so we have 5 minutes. Jared Connor, Nick Verrecchio, Kevin McDermott, Matt Capuzzi, Steve Julian, Brian Cohen, Kevin McDermott, David Chick, Mike Schaefer, Mike Mannion, Chris Hoyle, Marty Berry, Mike McDermott, and Dave Rankin. Congratulations. Haverford High School is 1992, 1991, 1989 Central League champions.
Just a few quick comments. First of all, thank you to the committee. My name is Kevin McDermott, by the way. I'm actually class of '95, so I was little and young for those final 2 Central League Championship teams. Thank you very much for having us. I'll keep this brief. You know, golf's an individual sport. It can be a little lonely on the highs and lows, but when you have a team that created a culture like we did in Haverford during those years, I think it rose all boats. And I think when you get older and you have kids and you coach youth sports, and it gives you some perspective that, you know, not everybody gets to make the 7th and 8th grade team, let alone excel in high school. So thank you to the committee for sort of getting us back together and making us reminisce a little bit about the fact that we did something pretty unique a long time ago. Thank you very much.
Steve Young with some closing remarks.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. Obviously, we haven't done it since before COVID, and we're trying to get back to the system. We're going to do it again next year, and then we'll go back to our original format of every other year going forward. There's a lot that goes into this. We started, you know, months ago, and we probably never put enough months prior into it because we're always feel like we're missing a detail here or there. You know, it's very challenging. We have a great committee that works together on it. We're always looking for people to join the committee and join the Hall of Fame. Can I get the committee members who work on this to stand just to get a moment of recognition? As I said, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, the school district, we couldn't do it without your help. They helped with the printing of the book, the support through the years. We couldn't do it without Dr. Rushi, Pete Dunnigy, Greg DeCina, Michelle Romano, Patty DeRazio, and Mike Jones. You know, if I'm missing anybody, I apologize, but the school district is a tremendous support. We are here to represent the school district. We are here, our mission statement is to represent the former athletes the best we can, in the best light that we can, and our mission statement is to do that. We raise money 3 ways. We do it through our ad booklet, we do it through membership. If you're not a member, we encourage you to join. That's how you can nominate and vote. There's a form in the book, and we raise a little bit of money off the banquet. With that, we pay for everything we do here and giving back to the former inductees, and we also give back to the athletic department for whatever they can ask us to do that we can support. In closing, thank you for everybody coming. I know you've come from great distances. Inductees, thanks for all the goosebumps over the years. And have a great Thanksgiving and safe travels.